Hey guys, it's Pupsy Animations or GoDuPup depending on why you're watching this. And today we're building an Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus forest thing. So the idea for this enclosure was inspired by a YouTuber known as Paleo Pizza, where he made an ankylosaurus exhibit, limited where they could walk by using trees and rocks and stuff, and put the place where they would walk like on a dirt path. So yeah. That's kind of what we're doing here. Anyways, let's talk about like JW3. So you know how some of the species are going to be cut? I think I know which ones might get the boot. You know, things like, what was it? Deinonychus and, and Carcharodontosaurus might get the boot, like, and also Camarasaurus and maybe, Acanthosaurus. Those ones are a bit iffy on, because, they're J-plot species. But I feel like they should be cut out and, like, given back when they have redesigned. The Asian stegosaurids, like, Chunkingosaurus, Wyangosaurus, Gigantspinosaurus, those guys are probably gone. As much as it hurts my soul to lose Wyangosaurus. Now on the prospect of whether they come back in DLC or not. Honestly, seeing I've played Planet Coaster 2, and they are giving us the Planet Coaster 2 species back in like free updates, but I'm not sure how similar that will be for us. But if they do sell them back as DLC, I can only hope for like one thing. That thing being they at least make sure that the species packs are big enough so it doesn't feel like you're losing too much. Like, I had a thought, have 6 species, and then have 2 of them be old, and the rest of them be new species. I still think the free update method is the best way to go to make sure the community doesn't riot. I'd be a bit miffed having to pay for species and, I've already paid for. Now, right here, I was trying to see if they could fit in the gate, and yet again, looks like they can perfectly fit in the gate, but they can't. For some reason, they can't. I was thinking of changing the species to something that could fit through the gate, but, couldn't fit through the gate, so I just went with, like, Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus. They're the iconic Morrison formation duo. I had a dream, I think it was like this night, like the night I'm recording this, where basically, I was here, there was like, creators were uploading videos on Jurassic Evolution 3, and they're like showing off all the new stuff, in like a preset like, tropical map, and the species list, and people saw the species list, and there was like, on the species that returned, Utyrannus returned, for some reason Amargasaurus returned, and Allura Titan, and then Dryosaurus returned, but like, some of the species that we know returned, like Gallimimus and Parasaurolophus, were like, nowhere. Yeah, and new species, there was like 2 Ankylosaurs for new species, and they were like, I think one of them was like that, original Ankylosaur was like, Proloptocephalae or something, I don't know. I'm not too good with my Ankylosaur names. All I know is like there were 2 similarly sized Ankylosaurids. Giganotosaurus returned, which wasn't shocking, but like it was the frontier variant specifically. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird dream. I hope that roster isn't like final, because why isn't Homalocephaly in the roster? They better have Homalocephaly in the roster. I mean, if they don't, who are all the YouTubers gonna test out all the kill animations on? In JW3, they better keep that fluffy bush thing that's like in the Taiga set. It has literally saved my life so many times. And if they don't add it, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna demand for its inclusion. I was thinking, like, When are we gonna get the first species profile, whatever they're gonna call it, for JW3? I hope it's like, I hope they do something different, like with like a baby care guide. I think that would be fun. Also, I've decided to make this park a challenge. Before this park is over, I need to complete before JW3, and I have to use every species from JW2, every scenery piece from JW2, every building, every fence type, everything included in JW2 has to be used before the end of this park. Modded stuff doesn't count because, I just add that for, extra details and stuff, so, they don't really count to this. But I am probably going to use all the statues. So I'm finishing up this, backstage area, and, I added those new din pieces for the backstage. I have them in the, Amargasaurus Theophysis and, Gigantoraptor enclosure, but, I'm not sure if you saw those, probably didn't. Okay, I was making sure that, Velociraptor pen would fit a dinosaur in there in case we need to, move it out for quarantine. No, adding cages, just in case we need to transport them. No, laying a cage on another, it's like, it's just like it's like a fun thing to do. It's gonna be so much easier to make, backstage areas, especially with, the new, modular building and making, actual hard shelters. I hope dinosaurs have a hard shell requirement instead of them just sitting out in the rain all day. I also hope they add enrichment for the dinosaurs. I want to see a Velociraptor playing with a rope, or Stegosaurus using a scratching post. Anyways, guys, I'm adding my final buildings here, and then I'll be back with, a live tour after I added all the decorations and stuff. So, we add our hotels, our amenities, If you want to sleep with a view of the Allosaurus enclosure, they can. Okay, everyone, we're here with an actually live tour here, so no more voiceovers on the tours, but voiceovers still on the speed builds. And we have this guy. Oh, yeah, I am here. Thank you for pointing me out. And, over there, that's, your little, backstage area. And then here you have the start of the Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus enclosure. Obviously, you can't see it because you got to build that suspense. And that, hype it up because you're going to hear the roars. You see everyone flocking over here. And then you just then you turn the corner. You see the shelters just in case. And then you'll look over here, and if you're lucky enough, you can get a good peek of one of the Ceratosauri, or the Allosaurus. Here's one of them, the blue one. I don't really have any names for them, but if you want to name any of the dinosaurs, make sure to comment it down below. And also comment which species you want me to do next. But eventually I will try to do every single species in this park, which means eventually I'm going to have to, go back and, just cram some species together in an enclosure together, but I don't want to really do that a lot. So I want to make sure all the enclosures are spaced out, but that will lead to a lot of mixed species enclosures. So here's the statues that show off the Allosaurus and the Ceratosauruses. And ignore the bushes that are inside the fire, and now in this viewing gallery thing, you can go see it to see if anyone's over here. They spend a lot of time backstage, which I guess makes sense, because, I built this includes, a specific path they're supposed to walk on, and their most open area is that area, but, they still come out here when it's time to drink or time to eat. And, probably should talk about some future plans for the park. Currently, I plan to have, this way, it's gonna lead to a, Hammond Memorial Plaza, which I'll try to include some Jurassic Park species. But, if you have any other species I could put down, make sure to comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.